Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Prakshal. Good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
Good morning, Aditya. Good morning, Gracie Upadhyay. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, all. How are you, Gracie? How are you
So I'm
doing?
good.
Okay. Your voice is still not very much audible. How are you, Aditya?
Sir, perfect.
Very good. What about you, Prakshal Daga?
Sir, I'm also fine.
Very well. And the rest of the friends would be safe and sound, I hope. Chirag Meena has joined. Yes, Chirag, how are you? Chirag, how are you? Chirag Meena.
His audio is not connected.
Okay. Yesterday it was
Good
connected.
morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Chirag. How do you do?
Fine.
Okay, so yesterday when we were discussing the story and the summary of the chapter, you had left us and gone somewhere else.
Actually, I haven't got anything and I can't explain. So that's why.
Okay, very well. But now I think you might have got everything. You might have understood the whole story, isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
Very well. So now we begin with you. Chirag is going to tell the summary of the poem and then we shall read it word by word, line by line. Yes, other than that, I had also told you to read the poem once again and understand whatever the poetic devices have been used there and the language, the interpretation of the poem. So yes, Chirag, you are going to tell us first and then we shall discuss the poem. Yes, Chirag, go ahead. Start in your own words, the summary or whatever you have understood. Speak. Speak up, Chirag.
Yes, sir. So in this chapter, there is a one tiger. So in this chapter, there is a uh, Aunt Jennifer, and in this poem, the poet is telling about the inner feelings of a woman and the problems faced by women.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
I have understood the chapter, but I can't able to explain.
Okay, okay. So you have problem in explaining or expressing. Yes, so there are many students who face this problem of expressing. They hesitate while speaking publicly. So this problem can be solved only by practice and practice, Chirag. Okay, you need to practice, you need to speak in front of the public, in front of the people. The more you speak
Sir, I to improve.
sensibly in the class and before your friends, more you will develop confidence and speaking skill. Sisti Kashyap, good morning. Today your mic is working, hopefully. Yes, Sisti.
सर
Yesterday,
उसने कंप्यूटर से ज्वाइन कर रखा है.
what?
She has joined the class by computers.
She has joined it by computer. Okay, then how she is going to hear me? Through headphone?
Sir, by
Through ear.
earphone or headphone.
And when she is going to hear me through earphone or speaker, there are also mics available in the earphone. Mic is there, isn't it? Isn't it, Gracie? Gracie is not tech savvy. Gracie doesn't know about this. Mukul is there, Aditya is there. They all know about it. Anyway, we begin the poem. Okay. Yesterday we had started with the introduction of the writer, okay, Adrian Rich, and today we shall read about the stanza, the three different stanza and their explanation. Yes, so who is going to read the first stanza? Raise your hand. Who is going to read the first stanza? Yes, Prakshal Daga. Yeah, Prakshal. First hand first. Prakshals. Read.
Yes, sir. And Jennifer's tigers prance across the screen, right up as denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the man beneath the tree. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty.
Okay. So that's the first stanza. And it's written here, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across her screen. So there is a lady and the name of the woman is Aunt Jennifer. So what do you think, what is aunt symbolizing here? What does the word aunt symbolize here? Any one of you? What does the word?
So please repeat the question.
Yes, once again, only one of you. Yes,
So
repeat.
please repeat the question.
Question is, what does the word aunt symbolize here?
All the women over the world.
Aditya, speak.
All the women of the world means,
Your voice is not clear. I'm not getting what you're saying.
sir, all the
So
women of
it
the
is
world.
symbolizing married women.
Okay. It is symbolizing all the married women, all the married women in the society. Very correct. So, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across her screen. Now, you would also notice there is also irony. Irony is used. How irony is used? Because Aunt Jennifer, a married woman who is oppressed, suppressed, exploited, devoid of all rights and freedom, she compares herself with a tiger. She wants to have quality like a tiger, and she embroiders, she makes, she draws the tigers on the panel, tiger on the screen. So there is irony with the character of Aunt and the tiger. Aunt herself is oppressed, suppressed, fearful, afraid, frightened, whereas the tigers which she is making, the tiger which she is drawing on the, embroidering on the screen, on the panel, they are sleek, they are brave, they are chivalric. So, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across her screen. Prance means jump. Here it is mentioned that Aunt Jennifer is embroidering, she is drawing the tigers on the screen, and her tigers are lively, her tigers are brave, her tigers are courageous, they are moving forward, they are not backward, so they are prancing, they are jumping on the screen. It seems that they are very, very furious, very, very chivalric, very, very brave, very, very lively. Whereas if you notice this in a married woman, which Aunt Jennifer describes about herself, the poet described about Aunt and all the other women, you won't find all these things in the married woman. Bright topaz denizen of a world of green. So these tigers are how they are bright, they are shining, shining with excitement, happiness, and their color is like topaz. Topaz is a precious stone. So their color is like topaz, and they are denizen of a world of green. So when you hear the denizen of a world of green means they are living members, they are resident in world of green. World of green is forest. So when you hear this line, you also imagine. So there is also a poetic device used. Which one? Imagery. You also use, the poet has also used the poetic device, imagery, because when you hear bright, what comes to your mind when you hear the word bright? Shining. Topaz, the color of that stone, topaz comes to your mind. Denies and resident of a world of green. So when you hear the word green, all lush green, the trees, the grass, and all those things comes to your mind. So there is also poetic device used, that is imagery. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. So the tigers do not fear the men beneath the tree. That means the tigers are brave. They are courageous. They can do anything. They can go anywhere. They walk freely. They pace. Pace means walking freely. They pace in sleek, chivalric certainty. So the tigers walk freely. They enjoy all the freedom. So here the tiger also symbolizes whom? Whom does the word tiger symbolize? Any one of you?
So
Some
freedom.
male dominating society.
Yes, the male, the freedom of the male in the society, the kind of rights and freedom and enjoyment they have. So it also symbolizes, the tiger symbolize male dominance in the society, male power in the society, male's freedom in the society. So that is the explanation of the first stanza. Clear, everybody? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
If you have anything, sorry, if you have anything to add, you can add on. If you want to add on some more, you can add. Yes, any one of you want to add to the points, you can. Is there anyone? No?
So, is there any figure of speech in World of Green?
Figure of speech in which word?
World of Green.
World of green. Yes, there is a figure of speech you can find out. Now you think which,
Imagery.
yes, which one?
Imagery.
Imagery, of course, is there. Yes, imagery plus imagery is there, exactly. What else?
So, symbolic.
Yes, symbolic. Yes, symbolism. There can be also metaphor. World of green. World of green is what? Forest, jungle,
Yes, sir.
greenery. Yes, so it is there. Simile, metaphor, personification, synecdoche, all these, whatever comes to your mind, you can check the rule. Yes, you can find out what is the definition, what is the explanation of simile, personification, metaphor, synecdoche, hyperbole, and then you can relate, yes, this poetic device is there. Yes, now we move on to second stanza. Yes, so who is going to read the second stanza for us? Gracie? Speak loud,
Yes, sir.
louder and clear. Yes, read the second stanza.
And Jennifer's fingers, fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand.
Okay, so second stanza is Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering. Fluttering means shivering. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool. So as you know that she is embroidering. She is making the tigers on the screen with the wool and the ivory needle. So it shows that she is so tired physically as well as mentally. Aunt is so tired physically that she even find it difficult to pull out the needle, ivory needle, because of lack of physical strength. So there is also a poetic device used in the word fingers fluttering. Yes, which poetic device? Fingers fluttering?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. Yes, so repetition of the initial consonant sound. So her fingers fluttering through her wool, find even the ivory needle hard to pull. That means, again, it is said that she is very much tired. She is overburdened by the responsibility of married life. The massive weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So the massive weight, the weight of wedding, the burden of wedding, where does it sit? The weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Means it could be seen through her hand. It could be seen on her hand. So the hand, the word hand represents her complete personality. So what poetic device do you think could be used here?
So symbolism and metaphor.
Symbolic metaphor. What else? Yes. In the first one, wedding band, uncle's wedding band, symbolic. Yes.
One.
So, yes. So symbols are used here. You could see on the screen symbols. So the word uncle has been used for all the married men, husband. Aunt is used for all the married women, or the ladies. Tiger is used for power. Okay. And there is hyperbole. Hyperbole. Weight of uncle's wedding band. What is hyperbole? What's the meaning of the word hyperbole?
Exaggeration. When
Yes.
someone exaggerates something.
Yes. So exaggeration, hyperbole, exaggeration. Weight of uncle's wedding band. The poet has written that you could see the weight of uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. So exaggeration, hyperbole, also poetic device is used here. Yes, now we move on to next stanza, the third stanza. Yes, and the reader will be, who is going to read the third stanza? Gracie has already read it. Yes, we change the reader now. Aditya. Yes, Aditya, read louder and clear.
Yes, sir. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid.
Yes. So when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. Means when she is dead, she would be free from all the responsibility, all the burdens. It's only her death which will free her from all the responsibilities of family life or married life. But here you would also notice that the hand here symbolizes her complete personality. So there is another poetic device which I haven't written here, that is synecdoche. There is another poetic device you might have heard, synecdoche. Yes, when a part of body used for the complete personality or vice versa. So here hand is not merely used for the sake of hand, but here the poetess has used the word hand for complete personality. So therefore it says, when aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie. That means she would be lying there terrified. She would be lying there frightened. In the death also, after death also, you could see the fear of male dominance on her face, on her facial expression. Still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. And you could also see the ordeals. Ordeals means the difficulty, the troubles, the suffering, the toil and pain. All these things she had mastered, all these things she had learned to do, but you could still the tension, you could still see the uh, tinge of all this thing on her face. Ringed here, ring means what? Ring means the which is worn for the wedding purpose. So here also there is a poetic device, that is Which poetic device here in the ring? Yes, recollect or recall. Which poetic device? We have gone through all this poetic device, and yesterday I had told you to go through the poetic device. Which poetic device is used here? Still ringed with ordeals, she was mastered by. Yes,
Personification.
no,
Metaphor.
no. Still
Metaphor.
ringed with, still ringed with ordeals, she was mastered by. Ringed with.
So if we take this line, so it can be ironic too.
How irony?
So because it's like Aunt Jennifer's creation, what she have created, will prance freely, but she is ringed and chained with the woes of her life. So it is a kind of irony.
That will come in the later line. In the last line, it will come. Last line, you can say irony is there. But here in the word ring, I am specifying the word ring. Still ringed. I am specifying still ring. Still ring. So, haven't you heard pun? Haven't you heard the poetic device pun? P-U-N pun. What is
The
pun?
herd.
Ye-
What is the meaning of pun?
So
The
one word
living.
symbolizing many meanings.
Yes, a word which has got which is used for different funny meaning. So here, still ringed with ordeals. So what is one meaning? One meaning is that ring which is worn for the wedding purpose or engagement purpose. And another meaning is ringed by, circled by, surrounded by, covered by. So, still ringed with, still covered with ordeal, still surrounded by the difficulties which she had mastered by. Will go on prancing, sorry, the tigers in the panel that she has made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. Here you can say that again irony has been used because she is dead, aunt is dead, but her creativity, her work of art will go on and on and on. The creator is gone, the one who has created, he is gone, he is dead, but the creation done by that person will survive, it will exist. So here the poetic device irony is there. So the tigers in the panel that she has made will go on prancing proud and unafraid. That means her creativity, her talent, her skill will remain there. Her desire to be powerful, her desire to be uh, dominating, her desire to enjoy the freedom, rights like men in the society will remain there. And the men, the male dominance still will go on in the society. That is the explanation of it. Understood, everybody? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So a simple poem, but we have to find the deeper meaning in the poetry. So it has got 3 stanza, and all the 3 different stanza speak about aunt, her feeling, her struggle, and even after that, her problems which she has faced, and about the world, about the society, which is going to remain same. Anybody would like to add anything to it? Any extra input from your side? Is there anyone who would like to share anything extra, any input related to this? Okay, so if not, then just a quick discussion about the theme, poetic device, and then we shall go for question answer. So what is the theme of the poem? Prakshal Daga, what is the theme of the poem?
It is about the experiences and difficulties of women after her married life. Uh, and one more thing that is here is symbolizing about male dominating society and the nature of male, that is always about the operation and pressurizing women about her dreams and her life.
Okay, so it's about male dominance, the gender discrimination, and male power in the society. Tell me, Gracie, Gracie Upadhyay, what are the symbols used in the poem? Which are the words used as
Yes,
symbols in
sir.
the poem?
So alliteration in the fluttering fingers fluttering.
Alliteration,
Then there is a
alliteration poetic device, yes.
there is metaphor also, like in the word transferred episode.
Give the example if you have got the book. Okay, think.
So imagery in the Aunt Jennifer's tiger sprang across the screen,
Mm-hmm.
bright topics and a word of green.
Mm-hmm.
So then rhyming scheme of
What?
AABBC.
Okay. Mm.
So personification in the line, the pace in sleek chivalric certainty.
Okay. What are the symbols used here? Aditya Agrawal. Aditya
Sir,
symbol.
in the word of green, a forest represents the symbol
Hmm.
word of green, and in the ring also it symbolizes two things: a married ring and the other deal with audience.
Hmm.
And in the fingers fluttering through her wool represents how she's facing her problem of work appear graceful and
What does the word uncle represent?
sir uncle according to the poet he has written uncle
No, but what does it represent? To whom it represents the word?
the man
The men.
married man
What kind of
he
men? What
married
kind of men?
made
Yes?
who are dominating the women.
Yes. Dominating men. Oppressor. One who oppresses, one who suppresses. Yes. So that is the word uncle. And aunt.
And the married women who are oppressed
Yes.
being
Married
oppressed.
women who are troubled, who are burdened, who are oppressed, who are suppressed, who are depressed. Tigers.
The male dominating society.
So the male dominant.
So the male dominant
Speak.
state. So tigers means the male dominate over the woman and does not them equal freedom.
Okay.
Okay.
Justify the title of the poem, and who is going to do it for us? Um, Chirag, justify the title. Justify the title of the poem. Yes, Chirag. Gracie, justify the title. Justify the title means, do you think the title is appropriate, relevant, how it is appropriate, how it is relevant, how the poetess has used the title? Yes. Justify?
So mainly the title is a bit contrary the poem, because in this the title did not justify what is in the poem. It just justifies that tigers are symbolic of symbolize freedom and free spirited, and they can do whatever they want. But Aunt Jennifer could not do the same what tigers can do. So it is like two opposite words are put in the same line, Aunt Jennifer and the tigers. So it's a bit contrary for me.
So you think different titles should have been used instead of Aunt Jennifer's Tigers? What title is appropriate according to you? Which title is appropriate according to you if you were to be a writer?
So I would choose an animal which symbolize feebleness or weakness, something like that, which I could relate with Aunt Jennifer.
And which animal is that? Any idea?
So I'm thinking about that.
Pigeon? Dove?
No, so animal which is going to be extinct, because animal because human, if they be fault of humans, so I can use an animal which is going to be extinct or which is endangered right now.
Okay. Yes, what about you, Prakshal Daga? Justify the title of the poem.
So here Aunt Jennifer's tigers represent that there's a generation who dominates male, but once if men understand that this is not a good thing and it leaves a bad impact on our further generation, then these tigers are going to extinct who are suppressing women, and in further generation uh, people are going to understand the feelings of women who are suppressing by men like Aunt Jennifer, and will not do this again.
What is the contrast in the poem? What is the contrast used in the poem on Jennifer's Tiger? Yes, any one of you? What is the contrast?
So
Speak.
here Aunt Jennifer is suffering the dominance of male dominating society, and making her own creation, the tiger, which represents the confidence and the freeness and freedom, and they are unafraid of anything and can do as per their will.
Okay, so that's it. And tomorrow we shall, that means tomorrow means next class, whenever we meet in the next class, we shall discuss the questions and answer, the extract based question and also short answer type question. So till then, goodbye all of you.
So what
And
we'll do after this chapter?
what we will do, we shall revise, we shall go for writing section. Okay, the writing section, whatever we have done earlier, we have to do it again, because you must learn it continuously, otherwise you are going to forget it. So we shall go for that writing section, plus again uh, reading all those poetries and the chapters which we have done. The first, writing section, after the question answer, test, revision test, and then all these chapters. Okay?
Sir, what about practicals?
Yes?
What about our practicals?
Which practical? English practical?
ASL is written in the.
Yes, ASL is there, so we shall also practice ASL. We shall practice it online. We shall, of course, because ASL also will be there for 20 marks. So we shall practice that online. Okay. All things will be done online because the schools are not going to open this year. So we shall do it online. You prepare any topic for 1 minute, 1.5 minutes to speak upon, and you know the system, how we do it. Two students come in pair, so I will make any pair spontaneously online itself. I have my scripts, and then we shall do it online. Okay, all of you. Prakshal,
Yes, sir.
have you given this ASL earlier?
No, sir.
No. But why it was there in your previous school? ASL was in 9, 10, 11th also it was there. Anyway, all
Sir,
speak.
yes, sir, you were speaking something. Sorry for disturbance.
Okay, so other students know, all older students, those who already studying here, they know what is ASL. They have gone through the practice, 9th class, 10th class, 11th class. Okay, they are aware of it. If you are not, so when we practice, you would also learn. Okay. So be ready, all of you, and we shall go for practice. ASL practice, reading comprehension practice, how to solve reading passages, writing section, okay? All these things. Clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, then goodbye. We meet in the next class. Okay, whenever we meet, we shall discuss the question and answer, and you complete all the question answer of all the chapters and the poetries we have done into your notebook. See you then. Goodbye.
Thank
Thank you, sir.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.